Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
So, sometimes you have to be taking a risk, to step outside of mainstream consciousness in order to fulfill the purpose for which you have come and to exemplify the Christ of your being. Even in the midst of criticism, even in the midst of ridicule, even in the midst of discomfort. Sometimes you just gotta rock the boat. And so that's what our brother Noah did. And so I'm gonna be talking to you about Noah and the flood. And I have to say, the other night when that storm came, the thunder was so loud, it was shaking the walls of my apartment. And then the rain came down so hard, I thought I was going to be floating somewhere, and I actually did that. I said, God, is this because I'm talking about Noah and the flood? But no, it was just the weather doing its thing. So I want to share something really funny with you. There was only one comedian that I ever heard that did a stand-up on Noah and the flood. This person shall remain nameless because of something that occurred. But it was phenomenal. So I want to share a little bit of it with you. I'm going to do a really compact kind of thing. So Noah was one day at his house and in his carpentry shop, and he was sawing and hammering, nailing stuff, and so forth. And all of a sudden, this voice came and said, Noah. He looked up. He said, okay, who's that? Noah, this is God. Yeah, right. Noah, I want you to know that I will be destroying the earth with a great flood, and I am going to destroy everything, and the only people who are going to be saved will be you and your family and 2 of each of the species of animals. Yeah, right. Who is this really? Noah, this is God. I want you to build me an ark, and I want you to make it 540 cubits by 420 cubits by 260 cubits. Yeah, right. What's a cubit? Well, I used to know what a cubit was, but that's okay. I'll show you what to do. And so I want you to build this ark, and all of your family and the 2 of each animal, we're going to put them in there, and then we're going to stay in this ark until the waters die down for 40 days, 40 nights. What's an ark? It's a big boat, Noah. Yeah, right. So fast forward, Noah has taken on the job, and he's out there building the ark. He's almost finished. And unfortunately, the ark is kind of sticking into his neighbor's driveway a little bit. So the neighbor comes out one morning to go to work, and he says, what? So he goes over and he says, hey, Noah, what you doing? None of your business. Well, does it have to be in my driveway? Noah ignored him. He says, "What are you making, Noah?" He said, "For me to know and you to find out." So he says, "Well, can you give me a hint?" And Noah says, "How long can you tread water?" Fast forward. Noah has finished the ark and has gotten most of the animals in. His family's in there, all the equipment and supplies have been loaded, and he is now trying to get these last 2 animals up the ramp. And it's the hippopotamuses, or hippopotami, or the big animals. And he gets them up there, and this voice says, "Noah, what? You're going to have to take one of those animals off." "What? Are you crazy? Do you know how much work I've been done? I'm tired. I have built this ark. Everything is in it. I've been rounding up all these animals, and it's a mess in there. Do you know what it smells like up in there? And who's going to clean up that mess anyway?" And God says, "Noah, you have to take one of those out of the ark." "Well, why do I have to take it out?" "Because they're both male." Noah says, "Well, I'm tired. It took a lot to get them up that ramp. You know what? If you want them, one of them off, you do it." And God says, "Noah, how long can you tread water?" So I always like that stand-up. There's a lot more to it. But isn't that what we are witnessing in our world right now? Isn't there a kind of a storm brewing? There is a consciousness of anger, rage, criticism, condemnation, judgment, violence. There are so many crashes, and our children are shooting messages at us, and things are in chaos, and there is so much rage and ugliness in the news of things that we're each saying to each other. Isn't this kind of a flood? Because it seems that way to me. Not in a sense of water, but in a sense of an overflooding consciousness of negative energy. And I believe that the only way that we are going to ride out this flood is through love from our part. That we are being called to be the Noahs in the world, to build an ark, and to bring this consciousness to a place where it can rest upon a mountain of peace and love and possibility. So I'm not going to try to read the whole Noah and the ark story. It's 4 chapters in Genesis. We would be here till next week. So what I am going to do is I'm going to give you the metaphysics and kind of touch into what was going on then and what's going on now based on the metaphysical understanding of Noah and the flood. So first of all, the term Noah means rest. It means rest. I mean, by the way he was acting a few minutes ago when God told him to build the ark, it didn't seem that way, but it is metaphysically rest. Noah is a consciousness of rest. The other thing is that the ark is a place of restoration. We go into the ark to be restored. The flood represents a purification of the prevailing consciousness in order that we might move forward to step into a consciousness that will lift the prevailing consciousness from the depths of negativity and raise it up to the mountain of awareness that we are all one, that we are all made in the image and likeness of love, and that that is who we truly are, and the only thing that is going to turn this ship around before it hits an iceberg is love. And we're not going to be able to depend on others to do it, my beloved. We are the ones we have been waiting for. So if we are sitting around waiting for our government to change things, forget it. If we are sitting around waiting for our neighbors to change things, forget it. If we are waiting for someone to rise up and take over, either through being elected or being chosen to lead us out of this chaos, my beloved, forget it. Because we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And either we are going to do this, or we're on a slippery slope. Because all we have to do is look at the news. Yes, I watch the news. That's my prayer list. All we have to do is look at the news. All we have to do is listen to all the people around us stuck in CCJ, criticism, condemnation, and judgment. Some of you may or may not know, who are friends on Facebook, that I have set a challenge for my Facebook friends to join me for a month of May without CCJ. And so for 31 days, we are making a concerted effort not to criticize, condemn, or judge anything, not even ourselves. And I believe that there is a possibility that we can shift the prevailing consciousness and maybe bring forth a greater understanding between us, a deeper, stronger relationship among us, and a love that transcends our pain and suffering, and that brings us in harmony with the way we were with God before the world was. But we are the ones that we've been waiting for. So how can we do this? How can we do this? Well, I have a few ideas. So one is, in using an I statement, I seek. I seek. Through prayer, I seek to know God's will for me, for my life, for the world. I seek through prayer. I ask, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say, and to whom? It's something I say to myself every morning before I get out of bed. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom would you have me say it? That's from the Course in Miracles. And I add to that, I am willing to do your will. Just tell me in a way that I will understand. Another is that I reflect and listen. Meditation. Going into meditation and in the quiet of our being, receiving the guidance and the direction of God, that we will know what it is that each of us individually have within us as the possibility to participate in the transition of the energy taking place in our world today. Each and every one of you has a gift. Even if you haven't come to the place in your mind, body, spirit of what it is, trust me, you have a gift. We were created in the image and likeness of God. God is the ultimate gift. Therefore, if the aspect of God is within us, we must have a gift. And the deal, my darlings, is that when we have this gift, we must use it. We must use it to create something greater in our lives that also serves humanity. And I have faith. I have faith in you that you have something to give to shift this consciousness, to shift this energy. I surrender. I surrender my will to God's will. I surrender my way to God's way. I surrender so that then I am pliable and I am usable and I am ready to be guided, directed, motivated, and used as God would have me used in order to fulfill the highest possibilities for myself and all humanity. Because we are the ones that we've been waiting for. I rest. I rest as I am inspired. I rest and allow myself to be guided when I am needed and where I am needed, and to what degree my gifts, my energy is needed. And finally, I accept the pathway that has been laid before me. We all have a path, every last one of us. And being a channel for God's will to be expressed through us and into the world, to uplift the world, does not prevent us from following our path. It actually enhances our paths and gives us even more to work with to fulfill that path to an even higher degree. Because we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Noah's not coming back, and Jesus isn't coming back, and neither is Elvis. So, it's just us. That we have a purpose. We have a calling. The challenge is that perhaps we are not asking what our calling is. Perhaps we have not yet said, what would you have me do? What would you like me to do in this world? What would you like me to do today? Start with today. What would you have me do today? Oh, no. In the next 5 minutes. What would you have me do? And then where would you have me go? Whatever you give me, and where would you like me to take it? Across the street, next door, around the corner? And what would you have me say when I get there? Because you see, you have all the words in the universe, and so I want to be certain that I am speaking the perfect words coming from you, that they will fall on listening ears and an open heart. And I won't have to worry about whether I'm using the right grammar, or whether I am speaking excellent English, or whether they will understand my Spanish or my French or my German. Because everything that comes through me from you will be clear. there will be no doubt what is mine to do. And so we are being called. Yes, the ministers up here, they were called to do this. But you see, my beloved, we're all ministers. And we're all being called. You know, maybe you turn the volume down. Maybe you said, oh no, that call wasn't for me. Maybe it felt like a little too much for you. Because, you know, maybe you forgot who you were, made in the image and likeness of God, infilled with all of the attributes of God. So whatever the reason, the excuse, that if you did hear it and said, I don't think I can do that, I'm going to invite you to reconsider. Reconsider. How many of you at some point in your life, recent or other, have felt a call to do something different? Raise your hand. How many of you did it? How many of you thought about doing it but didn't feel ready? What I'm asking is, now is the time. And we are the ones. There's a flood going on. I know you're aware of the pain and suffering that's going on in our world. How many more churches need to be burned, or how many more churches or schools need to be shot up? How many more crashes do you need to hear about? How much more pain and suffering needs to occur before we step up and said, I'm willing, use me. I don't know what I have that you can use, but hey, I'm willing. And the most significant aspect of this allegory of Noah and the flood, and it is an allegory, it did not happen. Although archaeologists and scientists have said that there have been a few floods of that type along the way. But nowhere did they find the boat. But it was an allegory of what to do when there is a flood in our lives, when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel like we're drowning. And that is to turn to the greatness within each of us individually. Offer our willingness to God. Surrender to that power that will lead, guide, and direct our way, where we won't even have to wonder or to think about it or worry. In order that the Christ of our being that is awaiting its charge, that is awaiting its opportunity to step out and be us, can fulfill its purpose so that we can fulfill the direction in which we came here to go. And so I have a little affirmation for you, if you don't mind. Okay. I accept my part in God's plan for my life, and all is made new in my will and in my world. I accept my part in God's plan for my life, and all is made new in my will and my world. Did you say that with me? I accept my part in God's plan for my life, and all is made new in my will and my world. Again, I accept my part in God's plan for my life, and all is made new in my will and my world. One more time. I accept my part in God's plan for my life, and all is made new in my will and my world. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.